Welcome to an EchoTales production, where ordinary places hold extraordinary secrets. And every story invites you to listen a little closer. Settle in, dim the lights if you'd like, and open your mind to the unexpected. Let's begin with tonight's tale.
What's that? Up ahead.
What's what?
That! Don't you see it?
Oh my gosh.
Look out!
Some places only reveal themselves when you're completely lost, not just in location, but in moments when daylight fades, roads stretch endlessly, and certainty slips away, causing memories to blur at the edges. Hedges grow tighter, winding lanes twist through the landscape, and fields gradually blend into tree lines that appear closer than they were a moment ago. The environment becomes subdued, as if in anticipation. Subsequently, people might debate over maps and directions, or about whether the road veered left or right, and how much time passed before anyone noticed they were off course. But the truth is, some places aren't meant to be found, and some roads lead to nowhere. Margaret Whitman, or Maggie, as she was affectionately called, always believed that getting lost was part of the appeal. For her, wandering off course was an intrinsic aspect of exploration. Over the years, she and Tom had often chosen the scenic route, sometimes out of curiosity, and other times simply because they had time to spare. They weren't reckless travelers, but they weren't rigid ones either. A folded map on the seat between them was usually all they needed. After all, roads had a way of reconnecting eventually. On this trip, they had no pressing schedule that dictated their pace. Instead, 2 extra days stretched out before them like an unclaimed gift. The visit with her aunt and uncle had ended on a pleasant note, and the drive home felt relaxed and familiar. As the landscape shifted and the main road narrowed into smaller lanes, Maggie glanced out the window and smiled. Her thoughts drifted to a charming little town they'd stumbled upon years ago, a place that lingered in their memories. She recalled the sensation of arriving at that place effortlessly, and, for the moment, holding on to that memory was good enough. We'll return shortly with Act 1. The 2-lane road stretched straight toward distant low mountains, bathed beneath a broad sky. Dry grass and fields on either side gradually faded into the horizon. Tom drove with his window partially open, taking in the cool air infused with a subtle sweetness. He and Maggie reminisced about their visit with her aunt and uncle, sharing laughter and teasing about how her aunt generously sent them off with enough food to sustain them throughout their journey back home. The road narrowed gradually without warning. The broad pavement gave way to a lane flanked by hedges and low stone walls. Open fields appeared and disappeared, separated by rows of trees that captured the daylight. Maggie leaned back in the seat and enjoyed the ride. She unfolded the map across her knees, smoothing its creases with practiced patience.
We've got time. We don't need to rush back.
That's how it usually starts.
We've got 2 extra days.
I thought maybe we'd find that place again. You remember the town?
Great minds think alike.
What was it called?
I want to say Brenton or Branson. Or was it Brownsville? No, that doesn't sound right.
I thought it was Branford.
Branford? It sounds close, but I don't think that's the name.
It was small and quaint. That much I remember.
We were lost.
Completely. But that's what I liked most about it. I don't see it anywhere on the map.
We didn't see it last time either.
Maybe we don't look for it. Maybe we just keep driving and see where the road takes us.
That sounds good to me. Oh look, there's a gas station. We better fill up.
What'll it be?
Could you fill it up? Regular should be fine. Say, have you heard of a town called Brenton or Brownsville or Branford? Anything that starts with a B?
Never heard of it.
We might have it wrong. Here you go.
Thanks.
Honey, you've been driving for a while. Let's swap.
We only have a few hours left of daylight. Are you sure?
I don't mind.
As they drove off, the filling station's light quickly faded into darkness. The roadway became more constricted, bordered by hedges on both sides, with fields extending beyond them in indistinct silence. They drove for hours, passing an old, faded sign with no visible name on it. Eventually, the map became less useful than following the road ahead. After a long period of silence, Tom folded the map neatly and put it away. We'll return shortly with Act 2. The last traces of light disappeared, giving way to the unwavering beat of the road stretched out before them. Behind them, the silent, unmarked lanes continued on. Hedges closed in on both sides, their branches intertwining like grasping hands. Fields stretched beyond them, indistinct and soundless, with a vast expanse of green that seemed to go on forever. Maggie drove carefully, her hands finding their familiar rhythm on the steering wheel. The unfamiliar feel of the car in her hands was unsettling, but she managed to stay focused on the road. Dusk deepened into something heavier, a twilight that lingered in the air as the sky transitioned into pure darkness.
This road should have brought us back by now.
Something's not right, Tom. We've been driving the same road for hours.
Hey, what's that up ahead?
What's what?
That! Don't you see it?
Oh my gosh! What is that?
Wait here. I'll go check.
Tom grabbed a flashlight from the glove box and stepped out of the car. The only light sources were the car headlights and the flashlight. Everything around them was enveloped in total darkness. The flashlight's beam carved a narrow path across the night sky. He retraced his steps along the road, carefully searching the hedgerows, the roadside, and the spot where the figure had appeared. Everything was still. No sign of movement or noise, and no evidence that someone had been there. He made his way back to the car.
Anything?
Nothing.
It was right there. You saw it.
I did. We didn't find the town. It found us. This is the road. Not to it, but through it.
And we were lost.
Maggie shifted the car into gear and continued on. Tom sensed a memory falling into place. They hadn't stumbled upon the town by chance years ago. Rather, they were discreetly invited in for a brief time after losing their way and sense of direction. The road appeared just long enough to guide them in, and perhaps the figure in the middle of the road wasn't blocking their path as much as it was marking it. We'll return shortly with Act 3. They drove on. The road curved gently, exactly as it had earlier. The same tree extended its branches towards the roadway, while the same gap in the hedge opened onto a field that gradually faded into darkness. Tom checked his watch and noticed the time hadn't changed. He turned it slightly, as if the angle might be inaccurate. Then he held it closer to his face.
We've been driving for hours. That's not possible.
Maggie didn't answer. She had already begun to slow the car. Ahead, in the center of the lane, the figure stood there again, in the same place, closer now, unmoved, smaller than they first believed. Not a child exactly, not in the way they understood. The shape was incomplete, its edges uncertain, as though it had not finished forming. The light didn't touch it properly. Its outline shimmered faintly, like heat rising from stone. This time, Maggie didn't swerve. Instead, she brought the car to a complete stop, several paces away. Neither of them reached for the door. They sat there watching. The figure in front of them remained motionless, refusing to step aside, retreat, or acknowledge them in any way they could comprehend. Its outline wavered faintly, as though it weren't fully anchored to the road.
Tom, I can't see its eyes. I'm shaking.
Go around it.
Maggie carefully maneuvered around it and steered the car forward as the road stretched endlessly in both directions. The figure gradually vanished, neither moving aside nor withdrawing, but simply dissipating, as though it had served its purpose. They drove past an old, faded sign with a blank surface. Maggie glanced at it, then inexplicably turned away. A bend in the lane led to a wider, older stretch in the road. The hedges receded, allowing the fields to blur into something indistinct. As the road straightened, a familiar stretch of pavement emerged, wide, open, and unmistakable. Tom checked his watch again. It ticked forward. Maggie felt the tension in her shoulders melt away, replaced by a sense of relief. Neither of them dared to look back. They continued driving, returning to a familiar road they recognized. They carried with them the certainty that some places reveal themselves only when lost, and only when you stop searching for them. The figure didn't appear again, and neither of them could pinpoint the exact moment the condition of the road improved. Lights appeared in the distance, sparse at first, then gradually consistent. A familiar curve and a recognizable intersection emerged, accompanied by the quiet certainty of a route that seemed to know its destination. Neither of them uttered a word about what they had experienced or the relief they felt. They didn't question the hours that couldn't be accounted for or the town they couldn't remember. They ignored the feeling that something had ended. The lane guided them forward, appearing normal again, and soon the road was just a road once more. We'll return shortly with our final thoughts. Maggie and Tom spent several hours driving on an unchanged road, with no clear sense of how much time had truly passed. The odd phenomenon they encountered defied explanation, leaving them uncertain as to whether it was an apparition, a marker, or another entity altogether. Ultimately, they gave up on finishing their trip. All they knew was this: the road had become unnaturally long, and at some point, they'd found themselves in a mysterious and unfamiliar place. So, the next time you travel and see trees with overarching branches, or spot an old, faded sign without a name, pay close attention. There are some places that remain hidden, revealing their secrets only after you've passed through. This has been an EchoTales production. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's story. Join us again for more intriguing tales from the shadows and the spaces in between. There are more mysteries waiting just beyond the quiet. Until next time, keep your eyes open.